The Israeli military has issued a rare apology for an airstrike in southern Lebanon that mistakenly killed 3 Lebanese soldiers. Israeli forces said they believed the vehicle targeted belonged to Hezbollah. Since the conflict began last year, Israeli strikes in Lebanon have claimed over 2,400 lives, with more than 11,500 wounded. Hezbollah claims to have launched a missile barrage targeting an Israeli military camp in the occupied Golan Heights. Israeli authorities have yet to respond. Meanwhile, Israeli authorities have arrested 7 citizens accused of spying for Iran. The suspects reportedly gathered intelligence on military bases and energy infrastructure. Notably, most of the accused are Israeli Jewish citizens, a shift from previous cases usually involving Palestinian suspects. In Syria, 2 civilians were killed in an Israeli missile attack on a car in Damascus, according to state media. Israel has ramped up air raids on Iran-linked targets in Syria over the past year. In Gaza, a woman was rescued after being trapped under rubble for 5 days following an Israeli bombing. The war continues to take a heavy toll, with over 42,000 Palestinians killed since October. Israeli forces are also facing fierce resistance, with Hamas claiming successful ambushes in northern Gaza. The International Commission of Jurists has derided Pakistan's 26th constitutional amendment, calling it a blow to judicial independence. Passed swiftly over the weekend, the amendment curtails the Supreme Court's suo motu powers and gives the Prime Minister authority to appoint the Chief Justice from the top 3 senior judges. The ICJ raised concerns over the secretive nature of the process and warned of increased political influence over the judiciary. Meanwhile, Justice Mansoor Ali Shah on Monday remarked that the question of jurisdiction would arise every day in the Supreme Court, SC, following legislation on constitutional benches. However, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif lauded the move as a landmark for parliamentary sovereignty. Meanwhile, opposition party PTI criticized it, labeling lawmakers who supported the bill as conscience sellers. In Karachi, the Sindh Counter-Terrorism Department arrested 3 alleged members of the band Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan. The suspects, reportedly planning attacks on police. Weapons and pamphlets from banned outfits were seized, and investigations are underway. In financial news, the Pakistan Stock Exchange saw a significant surge, with the KSE 100 index rising over 800 points, fueled by reduced political uncertainty and hopes for economic stabilization. Meanwhile, gold prices hit a record high amid escalating Middle East tensions, while oil prices rebounded after last week's dip due to China's economic slowdown. In the race for the US presidency, a Washington Post, 𝐒𝐭𝐲 poll reveals a tight contest between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump across 7 key battleground states, with just over 2 weeks until Election Day. Harris holds a narrow lead in Georgia, while Trump is slightly ahead in Arizona. Both results fall within the poll's margin of error, signaling a competitive race. Harris, who became the Democratic candidate after President Joe Biden stepped aside, also leads in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, where she will campaign later today alongside Republican-turned-ally Liz Cheney. Trump, meanwhile, leads in North Carolina and is tied with Harris in Nevada. As both candidates ramp up their campaigns, Harris is focusing on energizing young voters, women, and people of color, while Trump, in his third White House bid, seeks to consolidate his base and sway undecided voters. Nationally, polls show Harris with a slight edge, but the final outcome will depend on the results in these decisive battleground states, where every vote counts ahead of the November 5th election.